Sports Center.
Welcome into Sports Center. Michael Eaves, Alyssa Lang here with you. We have a Game 7 in the Stanley Cup playoffs, the 150th running of the Kentucky Derby. But let's start by diving into Game 1 of T-Wolves Nuggets.
Yeah, one of the more intriguing second-round matchups we had in the playoffs, the defending champs at home against an upstart in these T-Wolves led by a very confident Anthony Edwards. He had 40 points in the last game out for Minnesota to get to this round. And in the second half, the T-Wolves couldn't miss. I mean, Rudy Gobert's banking shots from the elbow. They shot 71% in the second half as a team. Anthony Edwards goes for 43 points, back-to-back 40 pieces, and it's the T-Wolves who stun the champs in Game 1.
I mean, it's tough here, man. You know, the altitude, their team, their crowd. It's tough here, man. I'm proud of my teammates, man. They came out and fought super hard tonight.
You've been incredible this playoffs, 35 points plus for the third consecutive time on the road. What's gotten into you, sir?
Nothing, man. I put in work this summer. Big shout out to the USA team, man. They got me ready for this season, and I appreciate them, man. And my teammates trust me in every position, critical moments in the game, and, you know, I try to come through for them.
How long did it take you to get used to Coach Nori on the sideline in the huddles? And what were the conversations like with Coach Finch, too?
It's the same. Finch's still there. Y'all see him. He's sitting there. Micah's controlling everything. You know, he's an extended version of Coach, man. We all a family, so we listen to Micah just how we listen to Finchy, man. It's a respect thing, and he did a great job tonight.
I wasn't worried about the start. I mean, it was 18-4. Jamal Murray didn't practice all week. Couldn't make a shot. I'm more worried about our second-half defense.
Michael, what changed second half defensively for you guys?
We didn't get any stops. I mean, first half, they had 40 points on 36 from the field, and we got back in the game by getting stops and becoming more physical. I thought our bench had a lot to do with that. The Reggie was outstanding, Justin Holiday, Christian Brown. But then in that third quarter, I think at one point, they might have shot like 90% that quarter. Naz Reid got going, Karl Anthony Towns got going, Mike Conley got going. Where Anthony Edwards carried the day in the first half. But second half, I just felt not really enough discipline and physicality, and they were able to get whatever they wanted. 71% in the second half of a playoff game is unacceptable.
With Edwards, I mean, he's going to get his shots. Did you see anything late that could be done differently, or is it just a matter of you talk about a make-or-miss league and he got hot along with Reed?
Yeah, you know, it's a tough one. You know, he is a great player. And I think at halftime he had 25, and no one else really got going. So it was the Anthony Edwards show, but we're up. And then what you worry about in that third quarter, I don't know how many points he scored in that third quarter, but I know Carl got going and the other guys got going. And that's when they become really dangerous, because now you have 3 scorers, 4 scorers, and that can't be the case. I mean, Ann had 43, Carl had 20, Naz had 16 off the bench, Conley had 14. It'll be a quick exit if we allow 4 guys to get off like that. So Ann's got to get his. We can do a much better job. I didn't think we had what we needed to have tonight, and I'll leave it at that.
All right, much more from this game to come, including the full highlight, plus Chiney Ogwumike will join us as well. But here's the deal. Ant-Man just continues to live up to his personal promises. He is that dude, back-to-back 40-point games in the playoffs, second player to ever do that before turning 23. The other dude, yeah, Kobe. That was the most he's ever scored in a playoff game. It's the most anyone's ever scored in the Timberwolves franchise history in a playoff game. Here's the deal, though. He owns 3 of the 5 40 pieces in Minnesota history. Only Sam Cassell has done it, dropping 2 in the 2004 playoffs. That team went to the Western Conference Finals.
Our NBA analyst, Chiney Ogwumike, with us now. Chiney, Anthony Edwards made an absolute statement in Game 1. When you watch him, what is it about him that makes him so great?
First of all, Alyssa, hello, playoffs. We have arrived. And overall in the series, styles make fights. And these two teams have very similar styles. The Minnesota Timberwolves, they were built, they were designed to rival the Denver Nuggets. And it shows with their size, with their versatility, and most importantly, with their star power. Anthony Edwards is becoming a bona fide superstar right before our eyes. Out of all the stars, he set the tone. He came out running and gunning with 25 points in the first half. Now, the most important skill, though, that a player can have, it's not shooting, it's not passing, it's not really defending, It is closing games at the professional ranks. And every time they needed an answer, he hit a dagger from everywhere. He had 18 paint points with exclamation marks. His mid-range was just straight up nasty. He knocked down big-time threes. Are you not entertained? This is so much fun, and we are seeing a superstar in the making.
Yeah, he's gaining a lot of fans right now as well. Let's talk about the defending champions. The Nuggets didn't lead for much of the series against the Lakers despite beating them in 5 games, but now they dropped this first one at home. What are your concerns with Denver after tonight?
Look, Denver, they cannot afford to play from behind. They cannot afford to have slow starts because Minnesota, they can beat you 2 ways. They can beat you with offense. The T-Wolves, they shot 71% in the second half of this game. And on defense, they're also the best in class in the NBA with the likely defensive player of the year with Rudy Gobert. The T-Wolves, they will turn the Nuggets' misses and turnovers into instant offense. And I think Nikola Jokic actually learned this in a pretty painful way. He had 7 out of his team's 12 overall turnovers. That's very uncharacteristic. Largely it was Rudy Gobert who's baiting some of those hallmark passes that, Jokic throws to Aaron Gordon in the dunker spot. Ant was swiping shots on the backboard with his left hand. And also, this is something very important to watch. Jamal Murray had an uncharacteristic slow start. I think only 0, not even only. He had 0 points in the first half. That will be something to follow very closely and possibly dictate this series.
Yeah, and he was 0 for 4 on uncontested shots, to your point, in that first half. So looking ahead to game 2, how do the Nuggets tie this series?
You know what? It's going to be interesting because we have so much star power in this series, but I really do believe that this will come down to the supporting cast in some ways, because those guys, they will help you win pivotal games, and they will help you swing runs. And Minnesota's supporting cast outplayed Denver's. Naz Reid, the 6th man of the year, he had 11 points in the 4th quarter. Mike Conley was slicing and dicing the defense for 10 assists. We saw a well-rounded performance from Minnie, and the Nuggets, it seemed like for the first time in a very long time, they were kind of caught on their heels. The magic of the Denver Nuggets is that, Nikola Jokic can get guys like Michael Porter Jr. and Aaron Gordon really great looks. Those looks, I'm wearing my glasses. Like they might need some glasses next round because those looks were not as clear. And so I think getting that supporting cast involved will have to be a must, especially given Jamal Murray probably not playing at 100%.
We'll see how it goes down. Timberwolves Nuggets game 2 coming up Monday night, 10 o'clock Eastern. Chanae, thank you so much.
it breakfast time yet? This thing is so itchy.
Our middle lane tower is under attack. Our middle lane tower is under attack. Dragon and Slayer have appeared.
First blood.
Leave the light on.
Enemy double kill.
Awathano Joimem, Shoshamong Miwangi.